This video explains how to make the gluten-free tiramisu ice cream sandwiches. The crust is made basically out of dates and nuts. First, use pitted dates. You can either purchase pitted dates or remove the pits from the dates. Next, we're going to be grinding the walnuts and pecans into a granular size, so it's not necessary to buy those nuts in whole pieces. Place the nut mixture in a separate bowl for later use.
Next, add the dates. Allow this to start to blend, and then we'll be adding the cocoa powder while it is blending. Until it forms a sticky chocolate date paste ball.
Add the nut mixture into the food processor.
Cut the date chocolate ball, mix it in with the nuts.
Add the almond flour,
Coconut oil,
of vanilla extract, and ingredients until well combined, but make sure that you do not make the nut mixture too fine.
And when it becomes really sticky and seems to be clumping together, that's when you know it's ready. And this is the way it's going to look.
Now it's time to make the sandwich crust. First, divide the nut mixture into 2 equal portions. Add the nut mixture into each prepared baking pan. The baking pan needs to be lined with parchment paper. The parchment paper needs to extend beyond the edges of the baking pan for easier handling. Using the back of a spoon or your fingers, press the choco nut crust firmly into your baking pans.
Okay, now our choco nut crust is ready for freezing, and you can see that I've really leveled it and flattened it all into the pan, making sure the edges and the corners are well pressed.
With the paddle attachment in your stand mixer, add your mascarpone cheese and your whipping cream. Whip until blended. Quickly add all your ice cream and blend until completely incorporated, making sure that you blend this really quickly to avoid melting the ice cream.
And it doesn't take much, and once it's mixed, stop. Do not let it go softer than soft serve ice cream. And now we're going to freeze it so it's easy to work with. We don't want it too liquidy. Okay, now we're going to do the assembly of the sandwich. So here is my frozen crust, and here is the mascarpone ice cream, which I had put in the freezer, and it's now a little firmer than it was before. So we're going to work really quickly, and since I don't have 2 separate 8-inch pans, I've placed them in this contraption. And so what I'm going to do is take out one of the crusts, and you can see that the crusts are somewhat brittle, and I'm going to put this back in the freezer. So just take one of yours out, and I'm going to lay it on a flexible plastic cutting board, and it's going to be in the freezer while I place the ice cream onto the other crust. So here is my ice cream sandwich, and for me, I have just placed the parchment paper outside, but you can just get all your ice cream inside the parchment paper. And I'm going to pretty much just scoop out the ice cream. You have to really work fast so you're not dealing with melted ice cream here. And level it off as well as you can. And this is the tricky part, so I wanted to make sure that you see how this is done.
Even though the chocolate crust is firm, it tends to break easily. So flipping the crust onto the ice cream lends itself to cracked pieces that you will have to reassemble. It is better to use the sliding method. So what you're going to do is align the flexible cutting board to the edge of the choco crust and then flip it over so that the flexible cutting board is on the base, like so. Now what you're going to do is use the cutting board as the base and align the choco crust so that it's going to be aligned with the corners of the ice cream sandwich, placing the corners to the corners and the edge to the edge, and slowly release the flexible cutting board from underneath the crust, like so.
Readjust it so that it all fits in.
Gently press it to level the crust, and once the corners and the edges are aligned, refreeze the ice cream sandwich, preferably overnight, until it is completely hardened.
Here is the ice cream sandwich that has been frozen overnight, and I am going to show you what it looks like. So first, gonna get it right off the actual baking tray and place it on plastic here, and then I'm going to peel off the parchment paper, okay, and get it out of this tray. And then when you want to cut it, use a really sharp knife or even a cleaver. Just cut down. And then cut it into the little pieces. So I'm just going to actually cut it into bite size or a nice little snack size piece. And here's your ice cream sandwich. And it looks absolutely delicious. And what I do is I don't cut them all into sandwiches, but I basically store it in the freezer with the parchment paper and put it right into a gallon Ziploc bag, and it fits perfectly in there, and I cut it as needed. So enjoy. And if you thought that this video was helpful, please like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks. More recipes can be found on sammywongskitchen.com or social media. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.